Order.
The Honorable Leader of the Opposition said, well,
Order.
he said, can I come now with to the Honorable Minister of Health? When a patient is admitted, do we have reagent to check the virus? Yet, no reagent is available. Yet, at that time, can he asked, can he see to it that they have N95 protective mask, that they have protective dress and wear, even dress, Mr. Speaker, sir, and that the reagent is available.
Honourable members.
And he said himself, the reagent is not available. The government is putting at risk the health status of the people of the Republic of Mauritius. And I will say it again, government has failed to live up to the expectation of the nation. He continued again later on. He asked Minister of Health, can I ask him, and I hope that he understands the gravity of the situation. Can I impress upon the Prime Minister? He was impressing on the Prime Minister that under the circumstances, we have to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. I would like to know whether in the action plan, all considerations are taken on board, first of all, in respect of stockpiling medicines and relevant equipment. He has forgotten. Let me remind him again. Can I ask him whether government has taken on board the worst case scenario, where there is the risk that there is a worst case scenario? As I say, we have to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Where 80%, listen to that, Mr. Speaker, sir, where 80% of the population can be affected with a mortality rate of 2%. Can I ask the Honourable Prime Minister whether adequate resources have been disbursed to ensure that our regional hospitals or general hospitals are equipped to deal with the problem? This is what they were saying at that time. Now, can you imagine?
Order.
Can you imagine, Mr. Speaker, sir? Can you imagine, Mr. Speaker, sir, if we were in a situation where we were not able to procure for medication and equipment and all the supplies that was required in this country to face with the COVID-19, you know what the opposition would have said today? Then they would have said, why didn't you buy emergency procurement? Why didn't you stockpile medication? This is what they would have said. This is what I call cheap politics. And it's a shame. It's a shame on this opposition.
Order! Order, please! Order on both
Mr.
sides
Speaker,
of the House. Order both sides
the
of the
Prime
House.
Minister, can I inform all of them sitting on the government bench? What Prime Minister has done, he has given a license in relation to conspiracy to defraud. That's what he has done.
Oh,
and he's guilty of it. That's what he has done. That's what he has done.
If you have the courage,
conspiracy to defraud.
Order, please! Order! Order both sides of the House here. This is imputing motives. Reframe your question and carry on.
Say it again. It's conspiracy to defraud. That's what it's all about.
I say this is imputing motives. This is a second warning. Either you withdraw it, withdraw this.
Mr. Speaker, can I ask the Prime Minister if there is honesty of purpose?
I asked you to withdraw because you said you repeat it.
I will say it again. There's conspiracy to defraud. That's what it's all about.
Order! Order here!
Yeah. Mr.
Order!
Speaker.
Honourable Leader of the Opposition, I warn you.
Mr. Speaker.
Show decorum. Show parliamentary democracy.
Mr. Speaker, I have a right. I have a right to say that this amount withdraw.
You have to withdraw it.
I withdraw the protest because I've said the truth. Because I've said the truth. The truth hurts. Mr. Speaker, sir, with respect to purchase from Pack and Blister, can we have the exchange of correspondence? In the spirit of transparency and accountability, can he table those documents? And can I ask him whether a pack and blister, is it on the database list of Minister of Health in relation to reliable suppliers? Is he on that list?
Mr. Speaker, sir, let me say again that at that time, when we look at what was happening around in the world, there were companies and there were major countries. It's good that we situate the context. In France, for example, they have ordered masks, a plane load of Chinese masks, destined for France.
Honorable Leader of the Opposition, you don't have the right to do that. Show decorum to the House. Let the Honorable Prime Minister reply to your question. Show decorum.
So I'm saying a plane load of Chinese-made masks destined for France were brought up right on the tarmac. The Prime Minister Trudeau stated, we need to make sure that equipment that is destined for Canada gets to and stays in Canada. Health Minister of Brazil said attempts by Brasilia to purchase protection gear, such as gloves and masks from China, had fallen through. Turkey had banned exports of protecting gears. Their stock destined to Italian and Belgian market never arrived. And shipment up to 6 million masks bound for Germany mysteriously disappeared while passing through the East African country. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, in that context, at that time, there was what we call panic buying around the world. And therefore, it was of utmost importance that we see to it that we have adequate supplies of medication and equipment to face and to cope with this COVID-19. And I can say from the information that we gathered, there were a number of companies that were not able to supply to us. And therefore, that is why, in such cases, the law provides also for emergency procurement. And finally, let me say one thing. Si le leader de l'opposition n'est pas un poltron, qu'il répète à l'extérieur de cette chambre ce qu'il vient de retirer ici, s'il répète à l'extérieur de la chambre. Si vous n'êtes pas un poltron.
Of course there's been. Shut your mouth. I can see blisters cropping on the face of the Prime Minister by telling nothing. What he's saying is not true at all.